Hey everybody, I'm back with another video. I wanted to come on here and just say hi really quick. I've been very busy. I got up this morning and I had to do my hair, which is always like a very long, drawn out process. And then I walked to the store and I got back to home. I started working on the video that I'm working on for my Patreon channel. So I hope all you guys are doing well. I did get some downloaded messages that I wanted to share really quick. First message I got, okay, and this is nothing new to me, but apparently there's social parties and gatherings around me, which I know this already, and I think I mentioned it on my other video. I'm glad you guys are having fun, while I'm sitting here all by myself. I don't know exactly how these like little social gatherings are going on. I'm assuming they're doing them online, unless of course people are actually having parties where people are physically appearing at these parties. But whatever the case is, I'm glad you guys are having a good time. Also, I got a message that there's confirmed plans that are being made for the prince to be returned. I hope that's true, because I really do think that it's important to adhere to whatever burial request a person has or whatever background they are. Some people want to get cremated. Some people want to get like planted at the base of a tree. I think whatever a person desires, we should honor their burial request. So I'm hoping, I know that I did a video recently, um, and I made it directly to King Charles asking that the prince be returned by November 1st. I have not heard any news reports about this, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed, apparently from the downloaded messages that I'm getting, that he is going to be returned. I'm hoping that's true. Also, people believe that I'm teaching the world better ethics. I think that's wonderful because I do think that a lot of people have been shown bad examples of behavior. That's not saying that Maria does everything right, but I think that's one of the things that shocks me so much is that a lot of people kind of act on impulse and they're only following the examples that were placed before them. And sadly, we're not the most ethical society. We don't live in the most ethical society. So if I'm contributing to people behaving better, I think that's wonderful. Also, I got the message that my old classmates love me. I remember all the people that I went to school with. And, I do remember having some good times, and I'm really glad that there's people out there who support me and remember me. I always thought of myself as kind of irrelevant in school. Like, I was one of those kids where, like, I felt like I was not really noticed. Not that I really mattered. You know how there's, like, popular people, and then there's, like, the people that were considered, like, kind of, I don't know what's the word for it. Not scummy, but just kind of like not noticed or people who just kind of blended in with the crowd. I always thought I was more the kind of person that kind of blended in with the crowd, not really noticed. But I think a lot of people have gotten attention. I've gotten a lot of attention because of this whole nature versus nurture versus nature thing and whatever, but and the Facebook blog, which might have had something to do with it. I'm trying to figure out exactly how that all connects. Apparently, this group of people, my ex employers, the people that I used to know when I was growing up, of course, my ex family members, stuff like that, we're in communication with each other, and that might have played a part in it. This whole experiment may have played a part in it, but I'm glad you guys all remember me, and I do appreciate that. Also, I got this message, okay, and here's the thing, okay, downloads can get, to me, I question all my downloads, okay, only because some of them just seem so surprising and jaw dropping, okay, like the first one that I got that shocked me. I mean, I got a lot of them that shocked me, but the first one was when I was the spawn of Prince Alamehu, right? That blew me away. And then I got a picture of who my mother was, right, in my head. It just popped in my head. Then I thought, okay, Diana Ross. And I kept thinking, in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, okay, well, then what is she made? What is her stock? What is she from? And I kept thinking in my mind, jokingly, right? I kept thinking Cleopatra, right? And then I kept thinking, okay, well, maybe there's something to this. So I'm going with Cleopatra. And then the download that I got about my father, when I'm referring to my father, I'm referring to James Calvin Gordon. Now, apparently, I knew that he had some sort of um, royal blood in him. And here's the thing, I cannot say that I know every king and every pharaoh that existed in Egypt because I don't. Okay, apparently, from what I understand, is that they tend to clone people that were, I guess, maybe like important figures or whatever. I don't know exactly how the whole thing works, but I kept thinking, okay. And see, I don't want to sound absurd. I don't want to sound absurd. I fear that more than anything in the world, okay? Because I kept thinking, okay, maybe my father, James Calvin Gordon, the man who raised me, perhaps he was. And I started cringing when I thought this because it's like, okay, this seems so fantastic, like bizarre, you know? And I kept thinking, okay, what if he was King Tut, right? And I don't want to think this because it just sounds so ridiculous. Like I'm picking out all these people that were famous that are well known, like and that's why I kept thinking, does this sound ridiculous to me? It does sound ridiculous to me, but this is what I'm getting as a download. I cannot help it, and I'm not making this up. Okay, I personally believe, or starting to believe, that my father, James Gordon, was King Tut in some past life. Okay, now you guys can like ponder that if you want to. I'm a little embarrassed to say it too because it just seems like, okay, Cleopatra and then Tut and all this other stuff, right? It seems like, if I was to tell that to a person, they would roll their eyes. I myself am rolling my eyes, okay, because it just seems so over the top. But this is the downloaded message that I'm getting. I'm going with it. Anyway, let's see. Oh, yeah, the Howlands, which was my father's family, yeah, his mother's family, knew the prince personally. So I'm thinking about the timelines of when this prince was in England and when they were in England. That is totally possible because I know that my grandmother was born in 1910. That was about 30 years or so after the prince had passed away. So totally possible. It's just like food for thought. Anyway, and then also I got the downloaded message that everyone knows that I told them so. Okay. So, and I'm not one of those people that like rubs it in people's faces and says, "Oh, I told you so." But apparently, people are talking about me online, saying, "You know what, Maria was right. Maria was right. Maria was right." I'm not trying to be that way. I know a lot of people, ridiculed me for my personal beliefs when I shared my thoughts with people in private. Okay, because believe me, I think some of the things that go through my mind are not. I understand what people are going to say, and I understand what people are going to think, and I understand what makes people seem crazy. So it's not something that I would go out and talk to people about openly. But, for the people that I thought that I could trust and I felt somewhat close to, I would share some of the things that I was reading or certain things that I thought were true. And I remember sharing certain things that I remember getting laughed at. Well, apparently there was nothing to laugh at because guess what? People are saying, "Hey, Maria is right," and I do appreciate that. I appreciate you guys supporting me, and I'm hoping that you guys will support me on my Patreon channel. I have not checked my Patreon channel yet. I'm decided to wait a few days before I actually go back and check it. I did get a message in my email saying that Patreon will not be posting, I guess, like my viewers until a few days, the very first day that I set it up. So I haven't checked my Patreon account yet. So I won't till probably tomorrow or the day after. So I really do appreciate you guys supporting me. I don't know about the King Tut thing. I feel funny about saying it, almost embarrassed about saying it because, like I said, it sounds outrageous. It sounds like, oh, come on, Maria, that's ridiculous. But this is what I'm getting. I'm going with it. So I hope you guys all have a good time. Right now, I'm really busy working on this particular video for my Patreon channel, which is The Gods. And then after that, on my Patreon channel, I will be talking about energy sources, which food will be included in that, as well as color, because that's all a form of energy. Anyway, I'm wrapping up this video. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye.